Hi all, welcome to LawPutra YouTube channel. So today we are discussing about the topic from labor laws, that is the differences between minimum wages, fair wages and also the living wages. Okay, so when we concluding this topic, we want to know the real word meaning of a wage, right? So wage is just like a remuneration or a prize money that has to be given to a worker who does his work for an hourly basis or for a period of month or for a period of weekly, months or any other time period. He should have to be paid a minimum wage to him. That is the real meaning of a wage. Okay, so we all know that after the independence of India, there are a lot of changes and also establishments and enactments of acts can become down. So one of those most important thing is that more encouragements and more amendments and also the enactments of acts which will be laid down to the sector of labor laws. Okay, so labor laws, which means that Factories Act and also Trade Union Act, everything has been laid down from the labor laws. Okay, so when we discussing about the topic about differences between minimum wages, fair wages and living wages, we want to know first of all the living wages. Okay, so when we talk about the topic of minimum wages, the minimum wages have an act, that is Minimum Wages Act 1948. Okay, so 1948 Minimum Wages Act, which is enacted by our parliament in 1948 on March 15. Okay, so this minimum wages, which simply means that the lowest wage, okay, a lowest wage permitted by law or by special agreement. Okay, so that is included in the Minimum Wages Act. Okay, so then minimum wages, depending upon the nature of the employment, the minimum wages can be vary, but minimum wages is stable and have to be given to each of the workers who done their own services to any other sector or any other field. Okay, that is included in the minimum wages. So minimum wages is just like when a person who done his work but he does not know about the real skills and also the knowledge about a work, but even if he does his work for an hourly basis, then he has to be given that payment of minimum wage. Okay, that is included in the fixing up of the minimum wages in the rates. Okay, so the minimum wages is just like the lowest wages which will be given to a worker or a employee based on the hourly basis. Okay, then when we came to fair wages is merely different from the minimum wages, because fair wages are the minimum wage rates for specific occupations only. Okay, so fair wages is just like they must be paid with an intermediary which called contractor. So even if a work has to be done by an employee or worker with the help of a contractor doing to them, so that is included in the fair wages. So they must be paid by the intermediary called contractors. So contractors doing work with in relation with the government sectors and also private sector in any other field, we all know that. So these mostly used to apply in both private sector and also the public sector, but specific occupations. Which are those specific occupations, right? Yes, the specific occupations are like trade and also securities and something like constructions. These are included in the fair wages. So they must have to be given a fair wage on the intermediary or with a name called contractor. So contractor will give the money to them, okay, or agent will give the money to them. So these are included in the fair wages. And also when we came to the topic of this session, fair wages, the concept of fair wages involves that rate that is sufficiently high to enable the worker to provide a standard family for food, shelter and clothing, medical care and education for the children appropriate to his status in life. Okay, so this is also included in the fair wages, because fair wages is just like that every human that is living in a civilized society should have to keep a good standard, right? At least for the betterment of their life, like food, clothes, shelter, etc. So if these are also just like our basic needs, right? So these needs have to be fulfilled only through the betterment of the workers that they render services to them. So the concept of fair wages, which involves that to provide the standard family to live with the motive of betterment of life, even if the education of the children also. Okay, so this is included in the fair wages. Okay, then when we move to living wages is just like it's based on the living conditions that have been a worker live in a residence. Okay, so even when we compare, for an example, I say that even if we compare a city place or a metropolitan city and a village area, the expenses or expenditures are very merely different and also very higher than the village areas. We all know that. So the living conditions are also higher than the village area, and in a metropolitan city we all know that. Yes, so even if they live in a residence or in a community, the living expenditures are also increasable. Then they have to be came under the section of the living wages, that is the wage needed to provided the minimum income necessary according to the residents of the community that they are lived in. Okay, so the calculation of the expenses and also calculation of their wages of the workers which will be varying, and also these calculations will be significantly vary. Okay, so when we came to this living wages, it is based on the community that is regarding a worker will be residing in a place. So these all about the living wages, fair wages and also minimum wages. Okay, these are simple topics we are concluding in this session. So I hope that you all understand this video, and thank you all.